Joel Embiid's season echoed that of Philadelphia as a whole. He went in with questions, exploded on the scene, surpassing expectations and racking up accolades, pushed his team into the playoffs and then the second round, but ran out of gas at the end against Boston. The playoffs are a fire that burns away the excess and exposes the weaknesses in everyone's game, and with Embiid the question was conditioning. What matters for a young team on the rise is players recognize what happened and put in the work to improve. Embiid clearly did, and has set lofty goals for next season. Embiid said his focus this summer isn't so much to lose weight. Says he currently weighs approximately 280, and could see himself playing at 270 to 275. Says his focus is more on stamina and quickness, but wants to retain ability to bully people inside with his size and strength. Derek Bodner, at Derek Bodner, May 10, 2018. Joel Embiid has his sights set on MVP consideration next season. Jessica Camarada, at J. Cameron BCS, May 10, 2018. Better conditioning also makes it more likely Embiid can stay healthy for all or most of next season, a concern that has not completely gone away. This is good to hear from Embiid. He sounded like all the Sixers players at the end of season press conferences. The young core sounds like it learned from what happened against Boston. We even saw that in the final 2 games of the series. It's going to be a wild summer with free agency. What this Sixers roster will look like when it returns in the fall is unclear. Just expect Embiid to be ready to take another step forward. The Raptors firing Dwayne Casey was both unsurprising and understandable. There had been signs for days. Really, for years. And maybe Toronto could use a shakeup after repeatedly faltering in the playoffs, including getting swept by LeBron James and the Cavaliers in the second round the last 2 years. It's easier to change the coach than the players, especially with Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, Serge Ibaka and Jonas Valanciunas locked into expensive, multi-year contracts. Nonetheless, it's still shocking on a certain level to see a coach fired after guiding a team to a 59-23 season. That's the 5th best record ever for a team that changed coaches after the season. It can murky whether a coach got fired or resigned. The 76ers, 62-20, definitely fired Alex Hannum in 1968. The Cavaliers, 61-21, definitely fired Mike Brown in 2010. The Supersonics, 61-21, definitely fired George Karl in 1998. The Pistons, 59-23, definitely fired Flip Saunders in 2008. They all had final year records at least as good as Casey's. Like Casey, most of them just didn't advance far enough in the playoffs over multiple years. The exception, Hannum, who lasted just 2 years in his second stint coaching the 76ers franchise, previously, the Syracuse Nationals. He won a championship in the first season, then got fired after going 62-20 in the second. So, it could be worse than the treatment KC received. The Hawks reportedly narrowed their coaching search to 4 assistants: the 76ers, Lloyd Pierce; Trailblazers, Nate Tibbetts; Hornets, Stephen Silas; and Celtics, Jay Larranaga. Now, it appears Atlanta is closing in on one. Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN. Philadelphia 76ers assistant Lloyd Pierce met with Atlanta Hawks officials for a 3rd time on Friday, emerging as the primary focus of the franchise's head coaching search, league sources told ESPN. A formal offer is expected as soon as today, league sources said. Pierce's experience in player development, especially with the 76ers tanking the previous few years. The Hawks, as they just get started rebuilding, will need plenty of that. Atlanta has John Collins, Taurean Prince, 3 first-round picks in the upcoming draft, the 4th slot in the lottery, number 19, and no. 30, all its own future first-rounders and an extra top 10 protected selection from the Cavaliers. It's a decent start, but the Hawks must draft well and groom that young talent. They're apparently counting on Pierce for the latter. Klay Thompson wants to stay with the Warriors. More specifically, he wants to stay with the dominant Warriors who have Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant and Draymond Green. So, Thompson might put his money where his mouth is this summer. Marcus Thompson of The Athletic. According to multiple sources, Thompson and the Warriors have already engaged in discussions regarding a contract extension. Thompson is already under contract next season at $18,988,725. The largest extension he could sign, starting July 1 through the following June 30, would be worth $102,083,386 over 5 years, $25,520,846 annually. Could earn far more if he makes an All-NBA team this season, but with James Harden, Damian Lillard, Jimmy Butler, Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul, Victor Oladipo, Stephen Curry and DeMar DeRozan at guard, that's highly unlikely. If Thompson let his current contract expire then re-signs with Golden State in 2019 free agency, his max projects to be about $188 million over 5 years, about $38 million annually. That's about $86 million more overall and $12 million more annually than an extension this offseason. By signing an extension this summer, he'd also forfeit the chance to earn a supermax contract as a 2019 free agent. That projects to be worth about $219 million over 5 years, about $44 million annually, about $117 million more overall and $18 million more annually than an extension this offseason. For what it's worth, Thompson's max with another team in 2019 free agency projects to be about $139 million over 4 years, about $35 million annually. So, he definitely has the leverage to get far more from Golden State than an extension this summer would allow. Thompson signing an extension now would be a major gift to Warriors owners Joe Lacob and Peter Huber, following Durant taking his own discount last summer. Why would Thompson, and Durant, at least his salary reduction below his non-bird amount, so willingly grant this favor to these billionaires? Golden State has bird rights for all its stars. It'd be costly to keep those 4 together, especially considering the luxury tax, but no collective bargaining agreement rule will break up this team. Thompson could put the burden on ownership to pay up. His talent gives him leverage. And Lacob and Huber might have the means. The Warriors' revenue is through the roof, and they're moving into a sparkling new arena in San Francisco. But not only did the Warriors build a team of great players, they apparently found the great players willing to make major financial sacrifices. That'll only infuriate the rest of the league even more. Neither the Cavaliers nor the Celtics were satisfied with the 2017 Eastern Conference Finals. Cleveland doesn't want to just beat Boston but not be able to hang with the Warriors in the NBA Finals. The Celtics don't want to try in vain to topple LeBron James. So, both teams set out to change. The Cavs traded star point guard Kyrie Irving, wound up with a messy locker room, then made sweeping changes just before the trade deadline. In all the chaos, Cavaliers coach Tyronn Lue is relying on his most experienced players in the playoffs. beyond, Cleveland is pinning its long-term hopes on the acquired in Irving trade Nets first-round pick, which obviously isn't contributing this postseason. Boston acquired the stars it could, Gordon Hayward and Irving, without sacrificing its young core. When those stars got hurt, the Celtics gave greater responsibility to the young players, namely Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown and Terry Rozier. Improbably, Boston won a couple playoff series. So, the Cavaliers and Celtics meet again in the Eastern Conference Finals, just with many new faces. Two-thirds of the players who played in last year's series are no longer with the same team. Amid the turnover, both teams have codified their position. The Cavaliers, trying to win now, are the oldest team in the postseason. The Celtics, with an eye toward the future, or the youngest. This is the 14th time the oldest and youngest teams in the postseason have met in a series. The older team has gone 12-1. Here's each of those series with the team's average age asterisk in parentheses. Cleveland Cavaliers 30.4 versus Boston Celtics 24.8. In 2018 Conference Finals, Dallas Mavericks 31.6 beat Oklahoma City Thunder 23.8. In 2011 Conference Finals, 4-1 Indiana Pacers 31.2 beat Philadelphia 76ers 25.9. In 1999 Conference Semifinals, 4-0 Utah Jazz 29.5 beat Denver Nuggets 24.8. In 1994 Conference Semifinals, 4-3 Boston Celtics 29.5 beat Chicago Bulls 25.4. In 1987 first round, 3-0 Boston Celtics 29.3 beat Atlanta Hawks 25.1. In 1986 Conference Semifinals, 4-1 Washington Bullets 28.8 beat Atlanta Hawks 24.9. In 1979 Conference Semifinals, 4-3 Los Angeles Lakers 29.4 beat Milwaukee Bucks 25.9. In 1972 Conference Finals, 4-2 Boston Celtics 29.8 beat New York Knicks 24.6. In 1967 Division Semifinals, 3-1 Boston Celtics 28.7 beat Cincinnati Royals 26.5. In 1966 Division Semifinals, 3-2 Boston Celtics 28.7 beat Los Angeles Lakers 25.7. In 1965 NBA Finals, 4-1 Boston Celtics 28.4 beat San Francisco Warriors 25.5. In 1964 NBA Finals, 4-1 Minneapolis Lakers 25.9 beat Detroit Pistons 27.5. In 1959 Division Semifinals, 2-1 Street Louis Hawks 27.7 beat Minneapolis Lakers 25.4. In 1957 Division Finals, 3-0 asterisk weighted by minutes played in the postseason, holding each player's age constant as of Feb. 1 of that season. The Cavaliers and Celtics' exact average ages will fluctuate as they finish their playoff runs. But Cleveland is much older and Boston is much younger than any other remaining teams. The Cavs and Celtics are pretty locked into their spots. If the 5.6-year average age gap holds, it'd be the 10th largest ever between teams meeting in a playoff series. Here's every series featuring an average age gap above 5 years. Dallas Mavericks 31.6 beat Oklahoma City Thunder 23.8. In 2011 Conference Finals, 4-1 Oklahoma City Thunder 25.7 beat Dallas Mavericks 32.6. In 2012 first round, 4-0 Houston Rockets 32.7 beat Minnesota Timberwolves 25.9. In 1997 first round, 3-0 Dallas Mavericks 26.1 beat Utah Jazz 32.6. In 2001 first round, 3-2 Los Angeles Lakers 29.0 beat Oklahoma City Thunder 22.9. In 2010 first round, 4-2 Indiana Pacers 30.0 beat Cleveland Cavaliers 23.9. In 1998 first round, 3-1 Los Angeles Lakers 25.9 beat Seattle Supersonics 31.6. In 1998 conference semifinals, 4-1 Boston Celtics 30.7 beat New York Knicks 25.1. In 1988 first round, 3-1 Miami Heat 31.1 beat Charlotte Hornets 25.5. In 2014 2014 first round, 4-0, Cleveland Cavaliers, 30.4, vs. Boston Celtics, 24.8. In 2018 Conference Finals Miami Heat, 29.4, beat Chicago Bulls, 23.9. In 2006 first round, 4-2, Brooklyn Nets, 30.7, beat Toronto Raptors, 25.2. In 2014 first round, 4-3, Boston Celtics, 30.1, beat Philadelphia 76ers, 24.7. In 2012 Conference Semifinals, 4-3, Indiana Pacers, 31.2, beat Philadelphia 76ers, 25.9. In 1999 Conference Semifinals, 4-0, Boston Celtics, 29.8, beat New York Knicks, 24.6. In 1967 Division Semifinals, 3-1, Chicago Bulls, 30.8, beat Washington Bullets, 25.7. In 1997 first round, 3-0, Oklahoma City Thunder, 25.6, beat San Antonio Spurs, 30.7. In 2016 Conference Semifinals, 4-2, Boston Celtics, 28.9, beat Atlanta Hawks, 23.8. In 2008 first round, 4-3. In those 17 series, the older team has gone 13-4. It's not as simple as experience winning out. Teams let themselves get old when they're ready to win. They care more about a player's current ability than his future potential. That's why the Cavs have traded for players like Kyle Korver, 37, and George Hill, 32, the last couple years. Cleveland wants to win now with LeBron. The Celtics aren't ready to accept that trade-off. They want to win as much as they can while retaining long-term upside. Eventually, LeBron's dominance over the Eastern Conference will end. But the Cavaliers are committed to continuing it this year. The Celtics are more concerned with having next. That shows in the team's ages, and it will probably show in the series.